One thing I read today talked about powerlessness, and it was in a Facebook group that I follow and I'm in, and somebody I mentioned that they have all the power, and there were many people agreeing with them, and I totally understand where they're coming from, because hey man, I'm just as much of a control freak as the next person, as the next crazy control freak person. But hey, you got to know who you are. The thing that, like, I guess bothers me, and it doesn't bother me because it hurt, I think they're wrong, or you know what I mean, like it doesn't bother me in that way, like I just upset at them. It bothers me because it makes me sad, and it makes me sad when addicts and alcoholics, people like me, when they say that, when they say that I have all the power. And the reason it makes me sad is because I remember what it's like, to think that I have it all figured out and I have all the answers. And that's just simply not true, A lot of people, I've seen several people, and met several people who feel like, they have it, and they can do it more or less on their own. But in my experience, I didn't become the crazy type of alcoholic I was on my own, and I definitely did not become the evolving better version of myself in sobriety on my own either. So we're all in this together, and I understand not wanting to give up your power, so to speak. I totally understand that. However, I've come to learn that understanding that when I drink, there's I have no power over stopping, right? I understand that to be true, and knowing that that's true allows me to plan, strategize, and execute based on that. What I mean by that is, I've been sober a little more than 3 years, and I've not been into a bar in a little more than 3 years. So anytime I hear or see in the Facebook group that someone in recovery with, less time than I have, and definitely within their first year, have gone into a bar, on the surface, yeah, especially to the next person, the normal person, so to speak, especially on paper, it looks really great. Like, hey, I went to the bar with my friends, I was the designated driver, I just drank diet soda and ate food, and everybody else was taking shots, and I was okay, I didn't drink. Like, on paper, like, wow, that's pretty good, right? Like, that person must be, they got it, they're pretty strong. However, I've come to learn that, like, relapse is a process too, when you're in long-term recovery. Relapse is a process. And the other thing is, recovery is a process, but it's also about being smart, because willpower alone is not going to work. It's just not going to work. And I say that from my own experience. Maybe there's some more heavily willpower people out there, but it just doesn't work that way. So thankfully, I've come to learn that recovery is a process and about being smart. And it's also about being in the community. So, for those of you that follow me, Active Recovery Life, it started off as a thing for fitness. And don't get me wrong, I still love fitness. I love CrossFit specifically. I love all movement, though. I'm happy to talk movement with anybody about it, whatever their chosen movement is. Cycling, swimming, Zumba. Love Zumba. But it's kind of evolved for me into about addiction and recovery and breaking the stigma and educating those out there, spreading awareness, sharing, the message of hope, sharing the message of hope. And I may be powerless over what happens to me when I take a drink, which is why I don't. But I'm not powerless over sharing the message and hopefully bringing some value to those of you out there, and those people who hear me speak, and those people who see any of my social media posts about the topic. So, one day at a time, as they talk about. And for those of you struggling out there, sometimes it's even smaller than one day at a time. Sometimes it's literally minutes at a time. It's you know, hours at a time, moments at a time, you know. But in either case, that's the message here on Sunday. Random recovery thought for the week, for the day. So take care, my friends. Be well, and of course, stay active.